Have you ever felt like an outsider in your own life? Have you walked through fires of pain that would have broken anyone else, only to emerge with a strange, unexplainable strength? You might feel lonely, misunderstood, or even cursed. But what if the truth is much more profound? You are likely a chosen soul. Being chosen isn't about privilege or an easy life. It is a spiritual contract that comes with a heavy burden and a divine mission. You were picked to break generational chains, to carry a frequency of light in a world of shadow, and to lead when others are lost. Today, we reveal the 10 undeniable signs that you carry the mark of the stars. If you recognize sign number 7, prepare yourself. It is the confirmation that your soul has finally reached its moment of awakening. Chapter 1. The Path of the Lone Wolf. The first and most prominent sign of a chosen soul is a life defined by intentional isolation. Since childhood, you have felt like a misplaced piece in the puzzle of your family, school, and society. You find no joy in shallow gossip, meaningless trends, or the hollow social structures that others worship. People may have labeled you as weird, antisocial, or lonely, but deep down, you know that your solitude isn't a result of being rejected, it is a result of being set apart. This isolation is a form of spiritual protection. The universe often detaches chosen souls from the crowd to prevent low-vibration energies from diluting their divine mission. When you walk alone, you are forced to stop listening to the noise of the world and start listening to the silent guidance of your own intuition. This is your training ground. You are being shaped into a lone wolf of the spirit, one who does not need external validation to know their worth. If you are currently experiencing a season of rejection or feel like you can't find your tribe, understand that you were born to lead, not to follow. You cannot blend in because you were designed to stand out. The stillness of your solitude is the only place where the divine can whisper the blueprints of your destiny. Do not fear the darkness of being alone. It is in that void that your true inner light becomes visible. You aren't lonely. You are simply being prepared for a meeting with your highest self. Chapter 2. The Magnet for Broken Souls. Do you find that complete strangers often approach you and start confessing their deepest traumas? Do even the most hardened people suddenly become vulnerable in your presence? This is because you possess a healing aura. As a chosen soul, you carry a specific light frequency that acts as a beacon for those lost in the dark. Your presence alone acts as a mirror, reflecting back to people the parts of themselves they have long forgotten or suppressed. However, this gift is also a heavy burden. You are an empath by nature, meaning you don't just see the pain of others, you feel it as if it were your own. You often leave social gatherings feeling emotionally exhausted, having unknowingly absorbed the stress and sorrow of everyone in the room. You are a natural energy transmuter, a spiritual filter that takes in the heavy energy of the world and tries to turn it into light. To survive as a chosen soul, you must learn the law of spiritual boundaries. You were sent to be a healer, not a sponge. You must realize that your light is precious and that energy vampires will be naturally drawn to you to feed off your vitality. You have the power to raise the vibration of humanity, but only if you keep your own lamp full of oil. Treasure this gift, for the world is starving for souls who can look into the eyes of pain with the gaze of pure, unconditional love. Chapter 3. The Recurring Dark Night of the Soul. If your life has been a series of intense, crushing trials, one storm after another, you are likely being forged as a chosen soul. You frequently experience what mystics call the dark night of the soul. These are periods where everything you once relied on, your career, your relationships, your very identity, is stripped away. You are pushed into a pit of total despair where it feels as though the divine has abandoned you. But look closely at the aftermath of every collapse in your life. Did you stay broken? No. After every shattering experience, you rose up stronger, wiser, and more radiant than before. A chosen soul is like raw gold. You must pass through the hottest fire to burn away the dross of the ego. The universe is not punishing you. It is performing spiritual surgery to remove what no longer serves your higher calling. The difference between you and the average person is your Phoenix code. While others might stay defeated by a single tragedy, you have the supernatural ability to reinvent yourself from the ashes. You carry the scars of many battles, but each scar is a medal of honor. You were chosen to endure what others cannot, so that later, you can lead them through their own darkness. Every time your world falls apart, it is simply the universe clearing the path for a version of you that is more aligned with your ultimate purpose. Chapter 4. The Insatiable Hunger for Truth. A chosen soul is characterized by an insatiable hunger for truth that a normal life can never satisfy. From a young age, you likely found yourself asking, why, while others were content with, what? You have an innate bullshit detector that allows you to see through the masks of politicians, religious leaders, and even your own friends. You aren't interested in the surface-level reality of the 3D world. You are driven by a burning desire to understand the hidden mechanics of the universe, the mysteries of life after death, and the true origins of humanity. This hunger often makes you feel restless. You might jump from one subject to another: ancient history, quantum physics, esoteric spirituality. Searching for the missing piece of a puzzle you feel is etched into your soul. You are a truth seeker in an age of deception. This quality makes you dangerous to established systems of control, which is why you may have felt suppressed or silenced by those around you. They want you to stay in the matrix, but your soul is wired to dismantle it. The burden of this sign is the feeling of being awake in a room full of sleeping people. It can be frustrating to see the invisible chains that bind society while everyone else walks around oblivious. However, your role as a chosen soul is to be the harbinger of awareness. You are the one who asks the uncomfortable questions that lead to evolution. You don't seek the truth because you want to be right. You seek it because your spirit cannot breathe in an atmosphere of lies. When you finally find the truth, it doesn't just change your mind, and it sets your entire bloodline free. Chapter 5. The Black Sheep of the Bloodline. In almost every case, a chosen soul is born as the black sheep of their family. You are the one who is different, the one who doesn't fit in with the family traditions, and often, the one who is blamed for the family's discomfort. But there is a divine reason for this friction. You were sent into that specific bloodline to be the pattern breaker. You are the spiritual warrior assigned to end cycles of trauma, poverty, addiction, or silence that have plagued your ancestors for centuries. Being the black sheep is an exhausting mission. You are often the target of projection, where family members project their own insecurities and shadows onto you because your light makes their darkness visible. You might feel like an orphan even when surrounded by relatives. But realize this: you chose this difficult family because you were the only soul strong enough to handle the weight of their karma and transmute it. You are the ancestral janitor, cleaning up the spiritual mess left behind by generations who were too afraid to face themselves. When you heal yourself, you are literally healing 7 generations back and 7 generations forward. This is why your path is so much harder than your siblings or cousins. You are doing the heavy lifting for the entire tree. The moment you stand up and say, "No more" to toxic patterns, you trigger a massive shift in your DNA. You aren't the outcast, you are the redeemer. The family tree is not rejecting you, it is being pruned through you so that new, healthy growth can finally begin. Chapter 6. The High Sensitivity to Environments. As a chosen soul, your body is not just a vessel, it is a highly calibrated frequency receiver. You likely experience an intense sensitivity to your surroundings that others seem to ignore. Large crowds, fluorescent lights, loud noises, or chaotic environments can feel physically painful or emotionally draining. This is because your nervous system is tuned to a higher pitch. You aren't dramatic or too sensitive, you are simply perceiving the subtle energy of spaces. When you enter a room, you don't just see the furniture, you feel the vibe of every conversation that has happened there and the emotional state of every person present. This sensitivity serves as a divine compass. Your body reacts to disharmony as a warning system. If you feel an unexplainable sense of anxiety or fatigue in a certain place or around a specific person, it is your soul's way of saying, this frequency does not match yours. Chosen souls are often called to live closer to nature, near water, mountains, or forests, because the natural world vibrates at a pure, healing frequency that restores their equilibrium. The challenge of this sign is learning to live in a world that is often loud and low vibe. You must treat your energy as a sacred resource. Many chosen souls find that they need significantly more recharge time than the average person. This isn't laziness, it is essential maintenance for a high-performance spiritual engine. By honoring your sensitivity, you become a master of discernment. You learn to curate your environment so that you can remain a clear channel for the divine light you were sent to anchor on earth. Chapter 7. The sudden loss of interests and people. Sign number 7 is often the most painful part of the awakening process, the Great Purge. Suddenly, and often without warning, the things and people that used to bring you comfort no longer resonate. You might find yourself losing interest in your career, your hobbies, or even long-term friendships. It feels as though the glue that held your old life together has dissolved overnight. This can be terrifying, leading to a sense of identity crisis. But it is a mandatory phase of the chosen soul's evolution. This happens because your vibrational frequency is rising. As you heal and grow, you literally move into a different radio station than those around you. You cannot stay in the same social circles if the conversation is still rooted in judgment, drama, or victimhood. The universe creates this vacuum of people and interests to make space for the new version of you that is emerging. It is a spiritual law. You cannot receive the new wine if you are still holding onto the old, cracked wineskins of your past. The burden of this sign is the feeling of being in between. You aren't who you used to be, but you haven't yet met the people who match your new frequency. This period of the void is where your faith is tested. The universe is watching to see if you will settle for lower-level connections out of fear of being alone, or if you will trust the process. Remember, the bridge to your destiny is often built on the shadows of the bridges you were brave enough to burn. When the purge is complete, the people who enter your life will be soul-level connections, those who see you, support you, and mirror your highest potential. Chapter 8. The supernatural connection to nature and animals. A chosen soul often finds that their most profound relationships are not with other humans, but with the natural world and the animal kingdom. You may have noticed that animals, both domestic and wild, are drawn to you in ways that defy logic. Birds might land near you, stray animals may follow you, or pets of others might instinctively trust you even if they are usually aggressive. This is because animals do not see your physical form, they see your energetic signature. They recognize the ancient light within you, a frequency of purity and safety that is increasingly rare in the modern world. Furthermore, nature is your ultimate sanctuary. While others go to shopping malls or crowded bars to relax, you feel a physical and spiritual pull toward the forest, the ocean, or the mountains. To a chosen soul, being in nature is not just a hobby, it is a biological necessity. The trees, the soil, and the wind act as a grounding cord for your high vibration energy. When you are stressed, placing your feet on the bare earth or sitting under an old tree can heal your spirit faster than any human conversation. This connection exists because you are a guardian of the earth. You feel a deep, visceral pain when you see the environment being harmed, and a quiet joy when you see life thriving. You possess the ability to communicate with the intelligence of nature through feelings and intuition. You understand the language of the wind and the whispers of the leaves. In these moments of connection, the veil between worlds thins, and you realize that you are part of a massive, living consciousness that is constantly supporting and guiding you on your mission. Chapter 9. The dangerous power of the spoken word. One of the most awe-inspiring yet terrifying signs of a chosen soul is the prophetic power of your speech. You may have noticed that when you say something, whether it is a wish, a warning, or a casual observation, it tends to manifest in reality with startling speed. You might say, "I feel like something is about to change," and the next day, a major event occurs. Or you might express a desire for a specific resource, and it appears within hours. Your words are not just sounds, they are commands to the quantum field. This happens because the gap between your thought and manifestation is much smaller than that of the average person. Because your soul is more aligned with the divine source, your word carries more weight. However, this is a double-edged sword. If you speak in anger, gossip, or self-deprecation, you will see those negative realities manifest just as quickly. A chosen soul must learn the art of verbal mastery. You cannot afford to speak idly or to vent negativity, as you are literally weaving your environment with every sentence you utter. Many chosen souls go through a period of enforced silence or social withdrawal, where they are taught to be careful with their speech. You learn that your voice is a sacred instrument of creation. When you speak a blessing over someone, it carries a tangible power to heal. When you decree a new direction for your life, the universe begins to reorganize itself immediately. You are a linguistic alchemist, and your greatest responsibility is to ensure that your tongue only serves the light. Your voice is the bridge between the invisible intention and the visible world. Chapter 10. The unrelenting sense of mission and home. The final and most defining sign of a chosen soul is a persistent, underlying feeling that you are not from here, and that you are here for a specific, urgent mission. No matter how comfortable your life becomes, there is a divine discontent that keeps you searching. You often look at the stars with a deep, aching nostalgia, as if you were a traveler far from home, waiting for a signal to return. This isn't a sign of depression. It is the soul's recognition that its origins are in the higher realms of light, and it has descended into this density for a purpose. You feel a clock ticking within your spirit. You have always known, even as a child, that you didn't come here just to get a job, pay bills, and die. You are driven by a sense of duty to humanity, a calling to be a light anchor during these turbulent times. Whether your mission is through art, healing, teaching, or simply maintaining a high vibration in a dark place, you cannot rest until you are in alignment with that purpose. You are a volunteer soul, an emissary of the divine who chose to be here at the turning of the ages. Accepting this sign is the final step of your initiation, when you stop trying to fit in and start leaning into your otherness. The universe finally unlocks the full reservoir of your power. You realize that your home isn't a physical location, but a state of consciousness. By anchoring that heavenly frequency into the earth, you fulfill your contract. You aren't just a human having a spiritual experience, you are a piece of the infinite, sent here to ensure that the light never goes out. You are the answer to a prayer the world didn't even know it was whispering. If these signs resonated with the deepest parts of your being, then the time for hiding is over. You were not chosen to stay in the shadows of doubt. You were chosen to be the lighthouse in the storm. The pain you have endured was not meant to break you. It was the carving of the vessel that is now ready to hold the divine light. The world may never understand you, and that is okay. You were not sent here to be understood. You were sent to be a catalyst for change. You are the pattern breaker, the healer, and the voice for those who cannot yet speak. Your journey has been long and often lonely, but you are never truly alone. An entire lineage of light stands behind you, and the future of humanity is being rewritten through your choices. Now, I have one question for you. Which sign was the final confirmation for you? Was it the isolation, the power of your words, or the deep longing for home? Declare your awakening in the comments below. By speaking your truth, you activate your power. In our next journey, we will explore the 7 spiritual shields, how to protect your energy from the darkness as you step into your greatness. Subscribe and walk with us. Your mission begins now. Stand tall, shine bright, for you are the one the stars have been waiting for.